Hello Internet, I'm Anime, and it's time for a new death battle. We have Wile E Coyote versus Tomcat. Finally! Now as I should say with all my reaction videos, please click the link in the description to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. So how do I know these characters? A better question is, how do you not? So when I was a kid, I would love pulling up Tom and Jerry or Looney Tunes, one of the funniest things to watch. So fairly familiar with both of them. However, I know there's even wackier stuff that I never knew about. Case in point, one thing with Wile E that's kind of a make or break for this matchup, in a way, and it's, I guess we're just getting straight into, who I think wins. So, Wile E has this, anti-toon gun. It's basically like a serum he made that's supposed to rewrite Looney DNA and essentially take Toon Force away. However, I did hear the one and only time he's ever used it, well, kind of failed. Like, pretty much everything he tries to do. So, in a way, it'd be kind of like saying, oh, Dan Hibiki could win against Hercule with Raging Demon, despite the fact that the one time he's used it, it failed. Maybe not to, well, I don't know. Anyway, however, it's up for interpretation because I know, Tom has 9 lives, and he has ways of reviving even after death. Gathering up lives in the afterlife, or even just getting kicked out of hell, because demons don't want him there. Which I think is just hilarious. So I actually wonder if that would, undo it. I don't know, it really hinges on, how Death Battle themselves, interpret, things. But, one, big key thing that I think does give Tom the ultimate edge, at least at the moment, is, so he has, a way better win rate against, Jerry than Wile E does the Roadrunner. And, smarts. Again, going back into whole, the win rate thing, when it comes to when Tom's, outsmarted by Jerry, it's not because he's, an idiot or anything, it's because he's just genuinely outplayed. Well, that and a few outside factors, like Spike and, various other animal companions that help Jerry out. Whether or not they intend to, or if they're just pissed at Tom as well, mostly in Spike's case. There was that one episode where Jerry pulled a nail out of his foot, and he got that bell. Actually, no, it was a whistle, wasn't it? Maybe those were 2 different episodes. Anyway. Whereas with Wile E, it's usually just him trying to catch the Roadrunner, and he's always, outsmarted. And, hell, I've even seen this clip where he's, got a lasso of, dynamite sticks, lights all of them, readies it, and he just doesn't throw it, and then he's boom. So I think, just smarts-wise and the better win rate does paint a good picture for Tom, but to be honest, I can see an argument where either win. And, I might prefer Tom a little bit, but I'm still good either way, so whatever happens, happens. Anyway, it's about time I put these on. Shut up and hit play. Play. I already noticed the Easter eggs in that shot too.
Furriest of the Looney Tunes.
Tomcat, the powerhouse pussycat from Tom and Jerry.
The fans voted for it and we're here to deliver.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job. They just throw among us some fool guys.
Find out who would
Win a death battle. The animation's already making me laugh. Just whacking Coyote with his own side and then stomping on Tom's foot to make him scream.
So cunning, so bold as Coyote. To the Miwok, he was a Prometheus who stole fire from the heavens to give to humanity. To the Sewetmuk, he was a foolish trickster who could die and return to life.
And to the brothers Warner, he's just a poor dumb schmuck who can't catch a break.
To this day, the great
Oh,
Coyote
Jesus!
in the American Southwest, hunting his indefatigable prey, the road.
Oh my god, it's scrolling.
Wile E Coyote is driven by a ruthless entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and it drove him straight off a cliff. He'll chase that bird-shaped happily ever after to his own inevitable undoing. Such
Classic.
is the lot of the common man.
You might not expect it from an anthropomorphic figure like Job, but Wile E was born the son of
The clips they're gonna show are gonna make me
His
laugh.
father raised him from infancy to hound his avian adversary and forbade him to speak until he tasted victory.
Okay, but they're oh yeah.
Coyotes are
He does speak against bugs.
capable of hunting in both rural and urban environments.
They're also speedy little demons. They can sprint at up to 40
Shout out to the
miles per
random
hour.
BBC
So that's
logo that was
full
there.
comfort when that blue
Probably couldn't get rid of it.
bastard Can make
I got
beams
it.
of light look stone still, or outrun a car that was moving fast enough to travel through time.
Frankly, it's incredible that Wile E manages to consistently keep up with his prey at all, but he does.
No, really, it's actually stated that only
Yeah, that's actually kind of nuts when you think about it.
burst of speed separates the coyote and the roadrunner. Heck, Bugs Bunny himself needed to take super speed supplements in order to move fast enough to outrun Wile E.
But almost
Okay,
as fast isn't fast enough.
insane speed feat for
Fortunately,
bugs
Wile
there in the
E's got an assortment of
the top
gadgets,
corner.
gizmos, and reams of blueprints to make up the difference.
He's got your classics like dynamite,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
spring-loaded boxing gloves, along with heavier artillery.
Looney
like
DNA Dissolver, is that what that's called?
10-billion-volt electromagnet and a friggin' trebuchet, a Reddit favorite.
Many of which he invented himself and uses
Man,
in
props to
extremely
whoever
detailed
wrote these.
scenes that inevitably go awry. Despite being a self-described super genius, Wile E has an officially measured IQ of 3.
That's the same IQ as a cactus.
Okay, the test results were fake, but he's still an idiot.
Look who's talking.
Soulless corporation do the hard work for him.
Acme sells any product that you can imagine, and Wile E is their most devoted customer, contributing up to 99% of its multi-billion-dollar revenue.
Thanks for
That
the
is
very
nuts.
well, Pops. Oh, don't worry, I'm spending it all in one place.
He's got an Acme Book of Magic, Acme Clonomatic, Acme Death Ray, Acme City in a Box, Acme Universal Remote, which can pause, fast forward, and rewind a person through time.
Too bad half the stuff
Yeah,
Wile E uses
this is gonna get
intentionally
all the more
sabotaged
insane.
Because Acme's board of directors is exclusive to runners. My man cannot catch a break, but he sure can take some.
That is amazing.
This is Wix Studio, built to meet any brief. When the brief calls for complex structure, let AI map your site art.
I don't care,
No
Wick!
matter the severity of his failures, Wile E is still a tune and can bounce back from just about anything.
He's been sliced, stabbed, squashed, exploded, melted, blasted into a constellation. and
Yep, a lot of
overall
Toonful stuff.
For the last 87 years straight, without ever actually dying. He once got fully disintegrated into ash and popped back up like it was nothing.
Similar to the immortal coyote of Sewetmuk legend.
He's also shattered the fourth wall
Fair enough.
tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the Roadrunner. Ah, so close.
Believe it or not, there is actually
Will
a
we see them
biological reason
jump
for
out of the
this
fight
ability.
and beat up Wiz and Boomstick?
Every toon's got it, not just the Looney ones. And it's what lets them survive fatal damage up to being fully erased off the page, essentially dictating their personal slice of reality to whatever is funny.
Like how gravity only affects the coyote when he looks down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wile E developed a counter to this immortality.
Okay, we're getting right into it.
Dissolver, which leaves Toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are. Yet again, so close. You can't say he hasn't tried everything.
It was Wile E's experience as a veteran toon that landed him a job at Acme University as department chair of the School of Hard Knocks, teaching up-and-coming Tiny Toons how to use their abilities.
Okay, so Naruto.
And just like Naruto's jutsus,
I saw him with the Sharingan.
with more experienced toons like Wile E who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wile E should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Wile E's got a cushy 10-year job teaching that stuff. Impressive for an abject failure at his life mission. He's helped stop a meteor from destroying Earth.
Yeah, immeasurable speed, there we go.
Basketball, and even, oh snap, caught the Roadrunner. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I actually saw that clip the other day.
1977's Tweety and Sylvester issue 67, Wile E Coyote has attempted to catch the Roadrunner 4,766,842 times.
Jesus Christ.
Over 10 million failures.
That takes dedication, or maybe self-destructive stubbornness. Too blinded by bird lust to see the forest for the trees.
But Acme's intentional malfunctions and Coyote's recklessness don't account for all of his catastrophes. There's something else, something grander, otherworldly, standing in the way of our furry friend's salvation.
Wiz, there's no other way to say it. God is just plain out to get this
Yeah.
guy.
And by God, we mean the closest thing that exists for Coyote and Roadrunner. Chuck Jones.
The guy that created him and helped forge the Looney Tunes into how we know him today.
Originally meant to be a parody of earlier chase cartoons like, well, Tom and Jerry, Jones established several rules for their animated shorts that superseded Coyote's reality warping toon abilities.
Rules that cover his obsession, faulty products, and the fact that no outside force, not even the Roadrunner, is to blame for his defeat. Just him.
While other creatives
Oof.
have altered this formula in the decades since Jones's departure, these rules have effectively made
The drawing of him showing him in the ass, that's funny.
cosmically ordained.
God nerfed Wile E Coyote. In all our years making Death Battle, we have never seen a handicap like that.
But what else can you expect
That's
from our
rough.
fanatical furry fail son? He's the Sultan of Slapstick, the CEO of Second Place, the swing and a miss superstar. As long as he picks himself back up and dusts off the ashes, that'll never be all, folks, for Wile E Coyote.
Alright, that is a fantastic way of ending
The
that.
year was 1939. War raged in Europe between the British Tommies and the German Jerrys. As the beleaguered English...
Okay, so I heard this in the lead up and it actually blew my mind.
One might have
I
called
never
the
knew
battle
that.
a game of cat and mouse?
Oh wow, is that actually where their names come from? I'm looking this up.
Regardless of their names' origin, William Hanna and Joseph Barber.
Oh, okay, filled in
the
for...
cat-mouse duo
Yep, they're
were the
counting those
undisputed
crossovers.
kings of slapstick comedy.
The formula is simple, and we all know it.
Doesn't look like cousin who is scared of my... Oh, I remember that episode!
Shaking, I felt that in my balls. Violence ensues, and Tom is reprimanded by Mammy Two Shoes.
Who is, let's say, very much from the 1940s.
And
Yeah.
if you're like me, all you wanted to see was Tom wipe that smug smirk off that little rat's face. Despite
Yeah,
my
admittedly.
documented hatred of cats, even I've got to cringe at years of propaganda to convince us to side with the filthy, flea-ridden rodent over man's second best friend. Oh, be
I personally prefer cats, but
Tom
alright.
are actually some of Earth's most successful predators. They can run up to 30 miles per hour, leap 6 feet high, and despite being commonly perceived as nocturnal, they're actually crepuscular and hunt in the dawn and evening.
Tom specifically is a British shorthair. They're
Hell yeah,
strong,
British.
Roman cats bred to withstand harsh
Shout out to the
conditions.
Garfield
And
movie
for Tom,
poster.
Harsh conditions is an understatement.
Tom has collected a crazy assortment of weapons in his war against mousekind. Sure, most of it is the stuff you can find
Oh,
in an
Jesus.
average American household, like baseball bats, lead pipes,
And guns, lots and lots of guns. But he's
American
got
household.
things like a magic wand, a robo-cat, vanishing cream, and a smart cap that gives him all the knowledge in the world.
I'm partial to the Sword of Light and Dark, which severs you from your own shadow, or the Rewind Remote, which can move your victim backwards through time.
And you can't forget the
Yep,
cat
so they both
dog.
have that.
Cat Jet, spelled with K's, of course, but just the cat part.
Tom's arsenal is heavily improvisational, which fits his quick thinking in fights over Thanksgiving turkey. Though he often loses his bouts with Jerry, it's not usually because he's dumb or incompetent. Rather, he's just genuinely outplayed.
And
Yeah,
even in
and
defeat, he's
outside
one tough
sources.
son of a gun. He's been crushed, blown up, had every bone in his body broken, shattered, melted and vaporized to dust and survived.
Well, mostly. Tom actually has kicked the bucket multiple times, but little known cat fact, he has 9 lives. As established...
Oh, and all of his lives can act independently.
Oh, Wiz was conducting some different kind of research when he stumbled on that episode.
Very
Nah,
funny.
yeah.
Even if Tom starts to use his lives up, he has a potion that just restores them.
Or he can physically go get them back from hell. Where all cats go.
Extremely...
Just gonna say this now, I do not appreciate the cat slander. Remember in Beerus vs. Galaxia when Boomstick said, oh yeah, I like him now? And I just... and yeah, that was immediately undone in Sable with John Talbane. Like, don't care for it.
Gore Fortune, but there isn't much of a limit to what Tom can do. He
Mum, you're on the Wi-Fi, right?
No, we're not.
Cause an ad to play, apparently. Get out of here.
He can clone himself, levitate in the air, make his imagination real, and even break the fourth wall and enter the real world.
Yeah, if you only watch the classic cartoons from the 40s, you may be in for a shock. Tom and Jerry gets buck wild, much like the actual inspirations for their names. Thank you, Google.
Oh, you're still on this?
I like how they're going into, like, what created both of
Actually
them.
named after the 2 characters in Pierce Egan's delightful life in London, Jerry Hawthorne and Corinthian Tom. It was adapted to the stage with the title Tom and Jerry, which later became a catch-all term in 1800s England for young, drunken rabble-rousers.
One could, in fact, say that many rabbles were roused the times Tom destroyed a planet-busting asteroid, lifted up the sun, and was blown up into a constellation. And he was just fine. Just a bunch of stars now, but he's okay.
He taked an explosion that launched him through time to the Stone Age and has run through space at massively faster than light speeds.
That shouldn't be a surprise when he and Jerry have been at each other's throats for over 80 years now. But what
Yeah.
may surprise you is the fact that at the end of the day, they're actually friends.
And they've worked
It's a complicated relationship.
today, like when they helped a little orphan girl, Robin Starling, find her way home. Oh, that's a nice end to their story.
Don't you
Yeah.
believe it? Now is when we have to talk about Tom and Jerry Chase.
Oh boy. We're actually getting into this.
The warrior god, Lord of Sichuan, Erlong Shen, battled the tricksy and indomitable Mouse King atop Peach Mountain, leading the goddess Celeste to declare the two the strongest warriors in the realm. And they were, in fact, Tom and Jerry. They were even stronger than Devil Tom. who were
No joke. This is real.
This mysterious, malevolent force threatened to consume the Tree of Life, whose branches encompass all of time and space. Banding together, these warriors use the star element to dispel the darkness and save the universe.
What the fuck?
Though it may sound
I love how they use that clip.
insane, it is. Chase is a Chinese mobile gacha game whose lore is not entirely in keeping with the spirit of the source material. However, it is officially licensed by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, which means we have to include it in our research.
So that the gods may grant us mere mortals some heavenly punch.
No.
Friendly rivalry aside, though, Tom has actually managed to catch the little rat fair and square a few times.
By my count of the original shorts, 19 times.
I could watch them on repeat forever. Too bad
I'm giving
his
away $1 million,
stupid
but I'm happy.
I truly respect is named after booze.
Well then, you're in luck, because the Tom and Jerry of English literature later became the namesake for a famous Christmas cocktail.
Because there's no better way to get absolutely trashed than with good old Tom and Jerry.
Okay. I still don't entirely know. Because, yeah, I feel like this is just one of those where, like, okay, so the stats do not matter. Because they can both recover from just about anything. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, Wile's ace in the hole is definitely the, Looney DNA dissolver. And they even said every toon has it, not just the Looney one, so therefore it should work, well, at least by their interpretation, it should work on Tom. But I do wonder, like, because they brought up the lives, that's got to factor in, and I wonder if that means the life system can, like, counter and undo that. So therefore, Tom just has to think, oh, I've just got to get that from him, which I think he's more than capable of doing, use it on Wile E, and then win. And yeah, they brought up, like, the rate in which, like, yeah, this person's, like, won or lost, so... You know what, I think I'm gonna stick with Tom. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, this is one of those fights where, like, again, you can make a case for either, and I'd probably believe you. Also, before I start this fight, I want to say shout out to the researchers for doing all this. Like, I do not envy having to look into, like, everything for both, debate all of this stuff, and be like, okay, so this person definitely wins. And also kudos to, like, whoever edited, like, all the, templates and the analysis, like, just all the stuff that was incorporated, Jesus. So, yeah, final bet, sticking with Tom. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, woo, I just want to see a kick-ass fight and see what Luis has been cooking. Play.
Guess what? Death Battle has merch now.
That's right, Boomstick, and you can get some
I was about to say that.
website deathbattle.gg.
Just
Link will be in the description.
Top, we've got mugs, stickers, shirts, and more.
I'm partial to the research.
Guys, any chance you could make a thing modeled after Blake versus Mikasa?
There's also exclusive merch for website members, like my
Just
beer
saying.
cooler, which keeps my beer nice and cold. And I guess, theoretically, other beverages too.
And there's the limited time Game Over tee, which won't be available much longer. So
Which
if you want,
isn't
go grab it quick.
modeled after Bowser versus Eggman for some reason.
Check back for updates. Picking up an item or two really helps support independent Death Battle, so we want to say a big thank you to everybody that's already placed an order.
Head over to Death
Oh, that actually reminds me.
Pick up a piece of Death Battle swag that's right.
I got my poster from the Kickstarter arrived and I put it in a frame.
All right,
I forgot to say that earlier.
set, and we've run the data through all
Possibilities.
possibilities.
It's time for a
Death
battle. I'm always, like, unsure if Boomstick's gonna change it up.
eBay. eBay, things people love.
No more ads, please. Oh boy. Yep. Okay, here we go. And fire! Oh, Jerry just took off with the Roadrunner. And Easter eggs galore. There's Among Us and Fall Guys.
Come on, you apes! You wanna live forever!
Wasn't expecting Tom to just talk there. Oh, it's his vanishing ring. The plane just falls. Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess it makes sense to go through the lives that quick. Oh god! Actually stop to take a breath. Oh no. Of course! Oh. Oh, Jesus! Just whacks him with the sign again. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, they're both hit with it! Uh-oh. Oh, is that... Oh.
Wile E Coyote, super genius.
Huh. Okay then.
Oh, thank God one of them actually died this time. I mean, no! Animal cruelty, no!
Considering coyotes eat cats, I'm not surprised.
While both
Bastards.
Cat and Coyote were incredibly powerful, they weren't literal gods who could snap their problems away. They had limitations and weaknesses that could be exploited, especially by each other. Let's first talk their stats.
Both were strong enough to contend with universe-threatening phenomena, but comparing Wile E to Plucky Duck, Looney Tunes can not only destroy their own universe, but their animators as well.
And while Tom could move faster than light, Wile E could keep up with the Roadrunner, who could outspeed a car fast enough to travel through time. That's immeasurably fast, and much faster than Tom. Wile E gets the edge in stats.
Wile E's arsenal was a bit better too,
All right.
believe it or not. Even eliminating the devices that have been shown to malfunction, he still countered everything Tom had.
The biggest being the Looney DNA Dissolver, which could render Tom's cartoony healing factor moot and end the fight.
While Tom has never been shown to have Looney DNA specifically, the concept clearly has nothing to do with actual DNA molecules.
Looney Tunes have been erased completely and
Okay.
still returned, so it's clearly something more fundamental to their essence.
And since the Dissolver works on any tunes, not just the Looney ones, it should apply to Tom. But considering how much of a screw-up Wile E is, it wasn't a sure bet. Hell, it could have backfired, especially considering how much more competent Tom is.
When it came to intelligence, Wile E's engineering and scheming genius were often defeated by his own ego and stubbornness. Tom, on the other hand, was consistently more flexible, pragmatic, and victorious in his fights. He definitely gets the edge there.
Oh, and Tom has one other big advantage. He doesn't have God nerfing him.
And that's the big question. Was Tom capable enough to benefit from Wile E's narrative-enforced bad luck and see the DNA Dissolver backfire against him?
That bad luck is a core part of Wile E's character in the cartoon. So let's call it his, toonliness.
To find the
Tuneliness.
answer, we dug deep through the bowels of Looney Tunes lore and ended up in an unexpected place: Space Jam.
Where Wile E yet again fails against the Roadrunner, but against the villains of the movie, the Monstars, he actually scores.
And scores again in the sequel, more than anyone else.
Wait.
But according to Chuck Jones's rules,
hold on.
that shouldn't happen.
Space Jam saved Wile E?
His entire history, Wile E's cosmically ordained failures only occur when he's specifically chasing the Roadrunner, or other tunes the plot bends around like bugs, because that's what Chuck Jones's rules were written for: Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons.
And even then, looking closely, they've been broken a few times throughout the decades, even during Chuck Jones's tenure.
Without the universe nerfing him, there's no reason to think Wile E couldn't eventually land a hit with the Looney DNA Dissolver.
Especially when the only reason it failed was because of the Roadrunner's intervention, a direct violation of Chuck Jones's limitations on the Coyote.
And especially when it's the only thing that either one had that could kill the other.
Despite lacking Wile E's narrative impediments and
Sorry I'm not talking a lot. I'm actually, like,
Tom ultimately had
Intrigued.
no surefire way to kill Wile E, whereas as Wile's superior strength, speed, and looning arsenal ensured his victory.
Wile gave one hell of a chase and left Tom Jones in for a rematch.
The winner is Wile E Coyote.
Congrats, Wiley.
Next time on Death Battle.
What's next? Zeno gets his wish!
Join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so right off the bat, fantastic episode. In fact, going by last year and this year, because that's how me and my friends are doing rankings for this era of Death Battle so far, I think I have to say Wile vs. Tom is probably a contender for at least my... Yeah, at least my second favorite. It's definitely up there. Just the sheer comedy of this whole thing. God damn it. I did think it was a little weird that through one injury Tom lost 8 of his lives all at once, but I mean, there's only so much in the budget for so much animation. You gotta get through them quick. And okay, so the ending of the fight, I remember saying to a friend who I was talking to about the anti-Looney, the Looney DNA dissolver. I'm so used to calling it the anti-toon gun because we never actually established what the name of it was. Me and him even said, okay, so end of the fight, both get hit with it, making, the climax all the more intense, who's gonna win, who's gonna win. So I'm actually really glad that that's how it wrapped up. And it threw me for a loop. I genuinely thought Tom had just won. But then, house collapse and show that a bit the umbrella actually worked. Okay, fair enough. That was pretty funny. So yeah, overall, fantastic episode. And Miles versus Deku. So, I mentioned, as soon as I saw it, Z-Dog gets his wish. One of my friends, Z-Dog, this has been, one of his most wanted fights, ever. So, when Miles versus Static got announced, I felt bad. Then when Deku versus Asta got announced, I also felt bad. So, I'm really glad that he's finally getting the matchup he wanted. And I'm excited for it too, because I genuinely both Miles and Deku, and for, this is the matchup. But I also, understood Static. Asta to an extent. Even when that was announced, I was thinking, okay, but Miles, though. So yeah, I am really excited to see that. And I think on that note, that's where I'm going to wrap this up. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching all that stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.